Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Marianne, for those looking to fish, talk about the public lakes that we have.
The Alabama Wildlife and Freshwater Fisheries Division manages and maintains 23 public fishing lakes across the state. And what that means is we have these lakes in place and we stock them with fish so that anglers who are looking for some recreation and for a good meal can visit these lakes, do some fishing, and take home enough food for their family. These locations are historically in rural areas where local anglers may not have easy nearby access to other larger lakes or river systems. And so our public fishing lakes are there for folks to use, and frankly, they are a bit underutilized. We stock these with fish. We stock them with a variety of species, from bass to crappie, or crappie as the locals call them, shellcracker, catfish, bluegill, lots of fish in these public fishing lakes just out there waiting to get caught.
For people looking to fish locally for the first time, or maybe for people heading to a different lake, a lake they haven't been to before, what do they need to know before they head out?
Well, for your listeners in the Montgomery metro area, the closest public fishing lakes are going to either be in Pike County, which is near Troy, and Dallas County or Crenshaw County near Luverne. And none of these are very far from Montgomery. And if you're going to use the public fishing lake, you do need a freshwater fishing license if you're age 16 or over. And you also, once you get there, will purchase a fishing permit, and that's for all anglers age 12 and over. So you don't need that for the kids. When you get out there, there's concessions, there's food, drinks, bait that you can buy on site, fishing line if you had a snag or you run out. And these places are available for folks to use and take plenty of fish home. The creel limits are very generous. They vary for each lake, but anglers, for example, at the Dallas County Lake can take home over 80 fish a day.
Wow.
If they're lucky enough to catch them. And so the creel limits are generous. We place those fish with the intention of them being caught, removed, and eaten by anglers. And these locations across the state can be found at outdooralabama.com. So if you're interested in using our public fishing lakes, make sure you have your freshwater fishing license, or you can buy it on site. Another day fishing permit that you'll get on site, and that is $5. And you can even rent boats at some of these public fishing lakes. These are places where you can spend the day fishing with your family or alone to get away from it all and leave with plenty of fish to eat and feed your family for the rest of the week.
You mentioned that day permit, so you have to buy that permit each time you go to one of those public lakes.
That's right. You can get that when you get there. And these day permits are, again, purchased on location and not required for the kids. So the kids don't have to have that to fish, and they don't need a fishing license to fish either.
You mentioned you can spend the day there. You can buy food, bait, all of the things. For those who are newer and trying to get into it, are there folks there who can answer some questions and kind of guide you if you need help?
Absolutely. The folks who staff the concession areas at the public fishing lakes are out there all day long. They can tell you the best place to stand, the best spot, how fishing's been going. You can fish from the bank. The piers there are all ADA compliant. And so if you have someone who is in a wheelchair or has other mobility issues, there are places where they can fish and have access to safe areas off the bank. And you can rent a boat, and you can do all sorts of different things. Again, it varies at these public fishing lakes. Each one has its own website that you would access at outdooralabama.com. But we really want people to know that this resource is available. We spend a lot of money stocking these fish, and they're there for a reason. That's for people to take them, eat them, and enjoy the recreational opportunities of catching them.
You spend a lot of money so people don't have to. They can spend a little bit of money, go out there, fish, have a good time, and most importantly, get food for their family. Marianne, thanks so much for joining us here on Alabama Live.